It takes a lot of courage to admit defeat. It takes a lot of courage to admit when you are wrong in life. And today, on my first ever YouTube drama apology controversy, I have to say, I was wrong. And I'm sorry. For anyone that hasn't caught up with the lore yet, I did a video a while back ago about things that you should look forward when you're trying to upgrade your gear on the violin. In the video, I mentioned that you don't need the expensive strings. You don't need the $130 string sets. Your violin should sound good without them regardless, which I still think it's true to some degree. But recently, I went ahead and pulled the plug and bought some Peter strings, the Thomastic, that are one of their top-of-the-line strings. I think they have now some that are more expensive than those, but those are one of their more expensive strings for violin, at least. And I was rocking Dominance before that. Oh boy, those strings are good. Those strings are good. It's crazy. So I was working Dominance, as I said, for a while, and I had them for a while as well. So I think it's a little hard and a little unfair to compare like a rotten apple with like this luscious peach fresh off the tree, right? So it's a little hard to compare it in a sense, but I'll give my first impressions, my thoughts after, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks of playing on them, and what I think they are good for and what I think they are not good for. This video is not going to be about me playing because I find it really difficult to edit videos of me playing and talking at the same time. That's also a reason why I haven't posted a chapter 4? I don't even know how deep we're in the Tchaikovsky. I'll find a way to update everyone on how I'm doing with the Tchaikovsky. I have been working on it off camera, some off camera farming, off camera grinding, wood shedding, however you want to call it. I've been doing a little bit of work on it, and I think it's sounding better, especially with the strings. I think it's sounding really good. First things first, fresh out of the box, they sound like very much so just new strings, very metally. My A string for some reason was really, really bright, and it was like almost a little overpowering to all the other strings. G string was a little dull. It was really metallic in a sense. So that got me a little worried, a little disappointed at first. I was like, well, this doesn't really sound good. I feel like I'm gonna have to change everything. And my E string was like basically non-existent. Like it might as well just not be there. But I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep them on, try them out, let them open up a little bit, because you have to just play on them and let them settle and allow them to give the sound that you want, right? And I would say it took me about maybe 6 hours totals of playtime, maybe in the span of 2 or 3 days, to really start to hear the difference. I'll say they started to settle in a little bit, and I was like, okay, they're sounding, they're giving me that brightness, they're giving me that sharpness, they have a nice little grip on them. They remind me a little bit of Evapirasis from Pirastro in a way, but less bright. And I think that's a good thing, because I think for me particularly, I'm not a huge fan of Evapirasis. I feel like they don't last as long either. They sound good, but they don't last as long. I've had this Peter for a bit now. They've remained sounding good. They have this quality to them. I think they are very easy to sound good with. It doesn't take much effort to get a good contact on them. It doesn't take much effort to go soft. It doesn't get much effort to change color. So my violin, I think, could use a little bit more clarity at times. And I think the strings do that job very well. Gives it a nice little brightness, added to where it needs it, without compromising for that sort of very shiny, sort of metallic beginner sound, which is, I think, what you're looking for on a string, right? They're very solid strings. I can vouch for the duration and how long they are going to ultimately last. But overall, I think they're really good. They are just really good strings. They're really solid. I don't have much complaints about it, other than the first day being a bit weird with the sound around the instrument. That got me thinking though, is it worth spending the money every time to get just these strings? As I mentioned in the past video, if you're going for an audition and you need to get the top of the line strings to like get that extra edge, sure, go for the strings, right? Like it's a good opportunity. Why not? For me, if the return of investment is good on buying the strings every time you need to buy them, which I would say could be anywhere between, I would say, I don't know, 2 months maybe, 2 months, maybe even a month, you need to change. Then it depends on how much you play. It might be worth it, honestly, to just go for top of the line strings every time. It might really be worth it. I still have Olive E that I haven't put in my violin, that I really like how it sounds. I really like the sound of an Olive E. I wonder if I combine that Olive E with this string set, because I'm still not a huge fan of the E string on the Peter Infeld string. But I wonder if I just max that out on that, how is that gonna sound? It's probably gonna sound really good, but I wanna leave that test for later. It's gonna depend on the person to person. If you have a recital coming up, if you have an audition coming up, go for the strings. I would say it's worth it. It's likely to be worth it, and I think it's better for your psyche as well, right? You don't want to second guess your playing abilities and blame it on the strings. You know, something that you can just have easily foresaw. Everything you change on the violin is going to change how it sounds. Even the chin rest, even the shoulder rest. Some people say that can change how the violin sounds. I don't think the shoulder rest is. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think if you get a wooden shoulder rest, that's going to make your violin sound suddenly out of nowhere incredibly better. I do agree that if there's a shoulder rest that makes too much contact with the wood, that's going to dampen the sound of the wood, because it needs to be able to vibrate. And if it's touching too many rubbery parts or like I use a sponge, I want to get rid of that. I want to change to something better. But I find that it's comfortable. It dampens the sound. I know this. But I don't know if the material itself is going to matter much. I could be wrong. I'll be willing to give it a try. I think it could be possible that it does help. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm sorry to anyone that I offended. I'm sorry. I want to personally extend my apology to the Thomastic company, strings company back in Vienna. They really, I think, hit it off the park with those strings. I don't even think they're going to watch this video. That'll be funny though if they watch. If I can get any Thomastic representative comment in this video and be like, apology accepted, that'll be crazy. Also, I would love more strings to try out. That'll be great as well. But those strings are great. I don't think I'm ever gonna doubt the price tag on strings again. I think it's justifiable. So I think in strings in particular, it is something that does show and does come through. I don't think they are strings that sound double as good as dominant, but I would say they sound at least close to double as good, like maybe 40% better strings than dominant, which I think honestly is not that bad. It's not that bad. People pay more for a phone upgrade that does basically the same stuff than they do for strings. Just think about that for a second. So I think it's worth giving it a shot. Maybe I can try other strings down the road. It's just going to be a shorter video today. No playing today. I'm still trying to figure out how to make the updates on the Tchaikovsky, but stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.